Here we are in Suzuka, Japan, having the first FP1 and FP2 of the session for the day. It was an interesting one. As we saw, McLaren have gotten closer to the Mercedes and the Ferrari. It was imperative that from what they said that they've learnt in China, that they're going to get close and they already know what the problem is. Congratulations to Babai Coco, Fernando Alonso. He never told us who he was getting married to. I love his demeanor when he came back and the way he was more composed. I think Alonso is now understanding that he's now getting much more older. Jack Crawford stood in for him, and that is a plus for him with what he has achieved at this point of his career. Fernando Alonso adding to the family. Also today, home team, under team through Aston Martin. Today I think they did a quality job. FP1, FP2 they were there. They said they've learned a lot. They've brought some upgrades and they're still bringing upgrades to make the car better, which makes sense for them. The vibration, probably the cohesion they have can become adhesive for them. The marriage between Aston Martin and Honda can become much more adhesive and they can enjoy it more. That's the best place they can enjoy it. And Cadillac being the team that has not really shown us how much they can perform, probably because they're a new team. They're in the same league with the Aston Martin, but they are still showing some trending power and some trending hands. Cadillac coming to this weekend, I think they've really improved from where they were in the last two races. They've really improved. They've left Aston Martin where Aston Martin were in the FP1 and FP2. They've moved above Aston Martin. I think in their race pace, they look better than some midfield teams. And also looking at how the drivers perform, I think the McLaren boys are looking back into the real F1 season. They look like they are getting back. Lando Norris really put himself out there. FP1 we had George Russell topping the timesheet. He never left. He was just there. He stuck on to his sprint win from China. His second position from China and down FP1, leading it all and showing that the Mercedes dominance. And I think for me, what Mercedes should have done is give all their customer teams the right tutorials on the engine so that they can give their own nemesis the big work. As in giving teams like Alpine, McLaren, Williams enough power, they can keep leading if they have the right car. Those teams will be giving Ferrari, Red Bull, everybody problem. They are fighting for other points while they are leading. It will make sense for them, but I don't know. It's Mercedes, so they know how to get around whatever they need to get around. But I think the understanding McLaren had today in the car, they are progressing, and if they can get it right in the next 2-3 races, they will be very close to Mercedes. Ferrari didn't really look strong. I thought Ferrari would be strong on this track. I thought they would be bringing the Macarena rear wings, but they used their normal rear wings. At the point, Lewis Hamilton in the FP2 was complaining about him not having enough confidence in the car, and this is the car that he has driven in the first 2 races, and if he had confidence in the car, so he's not really having confidence in the car. Complained about it to his race engineer, and I think they should be able to work around that. Also, Charles Leclerc seems to lack confidence in the car. The two Ferraris are not really syncing. The turn 14, the entry of turn 1, turn 2 was not really perfect for them, and I think they struggled a lot with the car. The setup thing, I believe they should be able to sort that out and get themselves back in the space they need to get into. That being said, Perez and Albon had a beautiful peck out of the other because Albon was not really looking at where he was going. And I think the Williams coming to Japan, they look pretty decent and they are not as far off as we thought they were. But Japan might be a good track for them. Another track might not be a good track for them, but I think with what we are seeing, we are having these teams getting bunched up, and that would come in play because now the FIA is making new rule for harvesting in Japan. You can only harvest about 8 joule per. Now on the start procedure after the FP1, FP2, you can do your start procedure not once, you can do it twice or 3 times, which makes sense for the team to learn the start procedure and get better, because that's one of the problems they're having. So you managing 8 joules for qualifying to give these drivers more ability to use their engine, I think it makes sense. I think FIA should release more of the engine. We saw the car faster. To me, the car looks faster in Japan than the way. So those teams are pushing the boundary, which also makes sense. FIA still have a lot of jobs to do, a whole lot, to make this present generation of cars more reliable, more faster, and more enjoyable, so that we can have correct racing. And also, looking at the way the cars are performing in Japan, I think coming into FP3 and qualifying tomorrow is going to be very interesting, because a lot of teams have learned from the data, they will learn from it also and push the limit of the car, get it set up straight and for the best of what they can use in the qualifying and also in the race. The race pace of Mercedes and the Ferrari are looking very close, but McLaren are a little bit off. The Red Bull are really struggling. Aside from Max Verstappen sending a reporter out because he felt that's Max Verstappen is a plain person. If he does not like you, he doesn't like you. If you've asked a question, he keeps it in mind. Somebody that asked him a question about himself and George Russell, Spain 2025. He asked him the question after the post-race conference, and he was angry. The guy was in the room, and he sent him out. Told him get out. If he's there, he's not going to talk. And I think it all boils down to his principle, the way he is. He's not really disrespectful, but when he doesn't like something, it goes on and out for him to be like, bro, I don't like it. Don't mess with me. That kind of a feeling that he has, and he pushes the boundary with anything he does. That makes him who he is today. And for me, he's always got it. But presently on the track, the cars don't have it. I think the Racing Bulls, they are looking a little bit faster than the Red Bull. Max Verstappen is struggling in that car. Isaac Ajatu is struggling in that car. They would know what to do, but their high speed and low speed corners are very, very slow. Both drivers don't even have confidence in the machinery they are working with. Audi in FP2, they have problems with Bortoleto, but they're able to bring him out towards the end of the session. A cool job, but I think Audi's engine is now showing unreliability. Well, they only have themselves to take care of. They don't have anybody they're supplying engines to, so they will need to really work that out to put themselves back in competitive mode, because if they don't do that, probably Cadillac might catch up with them, and also Aston Martin if they progress in the season, because we know the reason why Aston Martin can catch up with them is because of the experience Honda has had, though Honda have lost a lot of their team from Red Bull, so they might catch up with them because Audi now is the new engine manufacturer. I think there's still a lot to see this season, a whole lot to see. But now in Japan, the way the teams are ranked look like probably Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren. Those are the way I believe they are ranked, because I know Ferrari will come back. FP2 we had Oscar Piastri topping. Mercedes knows how to sandbag, how to keep qualifying. Boom, they'll be out there doing it. So it's going to be a good qualifying. Give you all the analysis. You don't want to miss it. I love you guys. Bye. Cheers.